I never accepted defeat. Yo soy el tipo de persona que I just don't give up. Like, I cannot give up. But in that moment, I was just so sick and tired of it. I was just like, it's like I had to come with the realization that it's like, maybe this is just not it. And so that happened. And immediately afterwards, yo borré todo. I just didn't want to know anything about this business. And I said, you know what? I've failed at almost everything up to this point. I'm not where I want to be. So if I'm going to be a failure in life, I might as well just start doing something that I love.
All right, people. So, guys, today my guest is someone that I met, wow, about 5 years ago for the first time. This guy was a chamaquito. He was just a kid getting into the business, trying to be a business. And now this guy is a TikTok star known on social media as BabyKel. We got Kelvin here on Wrestling with Mindset. Kelvin, what's up,
Dímelo.
broski? Welcome to the show.
Gracias, gracias. Sí, dímelo, dímelo. Gracias por tenerme aquí. De verdad que it's funny que tú dices eso because, yeah, it go. You know me like
No,
way back.
dude, it's to see what you've done in the last 5 years, bro, has been nothing short than amazing. And we're gonna jump into all of that. Pero papi, cuéntame, bro. I've been keeping up with your socials. You're a busy man. You've been in Miami. You've been in PR. You're recently in el concierto aquí de Bad Bunny in PR y aquí. No, bro, tú estás all over the
Yeah.
place. You recently had an interview in Puerto Rico too, so I want to get into that, bro. Pero man, lo más que me encanta de ti, bro, the big thing that I really love about you, Kelvin, is that back then when we met years ago. I think it was like 2017, 2018. We were having a meeting. My wife
Yeah.
was looking for a job, and you were looking for someone to do graphic design, and you were running this business. I forgot what it was. It was like an online business.
Yeah.
But even then, like when I saw you with the enthusiasm and everything that you were putting behind that, bro, like you knew that you didn't want to work like a regular job. You always wanted to do something, on your own. So take me a little bit through what you went through back then, and then how you transitioned to to where you're at right now.
Claro, claro. It's honestly es increíble. En ese momento, yeah, I was running like a digital marketing company where I would make websites for different local businesses. Pero yo, when I was around 18, yo tenía different sales jobs y después como a los 19 más o menos fue que I started this business because I always wanted to work for myself. I always loved the idea of, being your own boss y todo. Then I learned that, there's a lot that you have to put on your plate and it's tough. It's so tough. And yeah, I did that como por par de años and I'll be honest with you, I failed at a lot. I failed a lot. Like I would start este tipo de negocio, do it for a couple months, not make enough money, had to go get another job. Then I would get that job for like 6 months, start a new business, do that for a couple months, run out of funds, start another one, and it was just ridiculous. And um, it's crazy porque I haven't really talked about this. Porque
Oh, that's awesome that I get the privilege to
yeah,
share your story, bro.
sí, nadie sabe esto. Most people know me after BabyKel. No saben this gap of all these different things that I was doing. And I think what happened was la transición fue que after running this business, the websites, and not seeing it go where I wanted to go. Like I would make a little bit of money, but then my expenses, would outgrow what I was making. And it was a constant battle. And then eventually I just ran out of love for it. Como que, on that grind, so often not really seeing the fruit of what I wanted. Porque yo decía, oh, I'm going to do this so that I can buy my time so that eventually I can do something that I love. I just wanted to make money so that I can eventually figure out what it is that I wanted to do, but I didn't want to work for anybody else.
Exacto.
Pero después lo que pasó fue que in this was like about 2 years, I think it was maybe about 2 years ago. Yo estaba en una relación durante ese tiempo. I had a relationship, and things at the end were getting very raucous because she was helping me pay for bills. I was telling her, oh no, I'm going to help you pay this bill, but I wasn't making any money. I was like, oh, don't worry, next year or in a couple months I'm going to be this big, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And then poco a poco la empecé a decepcionar. She was just getting tired of it, and just things weren't really working out. And she eventually left. She was like, I can't do this anymore, like, and at the time I didn't understand. I was like, oh, you gave up on me. But I had to reflect on that, and it was like, yeah, like this is tough. And then I think in that moment, I realized yo no quería hacer esto más. I was like, I was doing this to make money. I felt like, okay, la perdí a ella. You know, she ended up kicking me out. So I had to like figure out where to live. And I felt like I lost everything. I was just so sick and tired of just struggling con este negocio, not working out. So I literally deleted everything. Went to
Hmm.
my computer, borré todo, apagué todo. I just didn't want to know anything about this business. And I said, you know what? I have failed at almost everything that I've tried to become successful,
Hmm.
that maybe this is just not for me. Like I had that spirit de que when you met me, como que, oh, like just that spirit,
Yeah.
and y lo perdí. Como que I was like, you know what? I'm a failure. Like I have failed, and what I'm gonna do is, since I've tried everything
What
and I
you
have
just said is
failed,
powerful. What you just said is super powerful, bro, because I don't think there's a, as a content creator, as a business owner, at the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur, right? But entrepreneurs are supposed to fail. Like
yeah,
the most successful entrepreneurs, business people, content creators, any they have. I can tell you, bro, I can more fingers than I have in my hands. And at times that I failed, being an entrepreneur. So I can sympathize with you when
yeah,
you say I lost the love for this, right? Because I've gotten to a point where I was super successful. I'm making money, and then it stops, and then nothing's happening, and then you start feeling that guilt of resentment, everything that
uh,
you just went through with your ex girlfriend. I've been through that, dude. So I know exactly what you're talking about of those struggles of those early days, bro. It's amazing how you're that energy that you put out, and you still have it, dude. Like you still have it, but it's different now. But it's
yeah.
different. So, all right. So sorry for interrupting, but
No,
yeah,
no, no, no,
keep going,
no.
keep
But
going.
it's a good point, porque at that very moment, I never accepted defeat. Yo soy el tipo de persona que I just don't give up. Like I cannot give up. But in that moment, I was just so sick and tired of it. I was just like, it's like I had to come with the realization that it's like, maybe this is just not it. And so that happened. And immediately afterwards, yo borré todo. I just didn't want to know anything about this business. And I said, you know what? I failed at almost everything up to this point. I'm not where I want to be. So if I'm going to be a failure in life, I might as well just start doing something that I love. Because at this point, it's like I didn't make any money with this business that I was hustling so hard. I might as well just not make money, but enjoy actually, and actually enjoy what I like, what I'm doing, because I realized that, and I came to realize this later on, pero that business was never going to work. It was never going to work because I was doing this business so that I could make money, so that I can do what I love. When that business stopped, yo tenía un primo mío que he was just like, he just told me one day, we were talking, yo estaba haciendo chistes, y él viene y me dice, loco, tú eres bien chistoso porque no te metes a la comedia. And I was like, tú sabes qué, I'm always watching comedy. Uh, you know
Why not?
what?
Fuck it,
Why not? I want to
do
try it.
it.
And that was kind of like that spark into wanting to get into comedy. And then for an entire year, that's when I just went to work studying comedy, watching YouTube videos, seeing who are the top content creators, what type of comedy do I want to make? Do I want to go into stand up? Do I want to do sketch comedy? Just studying the art of comedy for about a year, trying different things. And that's kind of how I got into the whole comedy thing.
That's also something else that's very, very important that you just said. You took the time to educate yourself and dive in so deep on something that you really, really wanted to have a better understanding about it, right? So it's like someone who wants to start learning about the investing world. Well, you know what? You're gonna watch as much content about investing so you can become the best investor within your group of friends. Same thing. You want to be the best comedian. You want to be the best actor within your group of people or within your paradigm. And that's what you did, because I did that too, right? I did that. For example, for me, when we met back then, I was already producing my show, my Weekends of
I
Wrestling.
remember. I
Yeah.
remember.
And dude, but at the time I already met you, I was already 4 years in deep without making any money, but I was consistent, consistent, consistent. But the reason I was able to be so consistent because I dove my entire being within wrestling, right? So you can ask me anything about wrestling, just like I can probably ask you some stuff about comedy that I don't know. That you could just be like, este tipo, this actor does this type of comedy, and this is why he's successful. So that's something that, whoever's the viewers that are watching this, that if you are looking to dive into something that you absolutely love, you need to dive in full, like commitment,
Like
and learn it. Let it become part of you. Is that something that you kind of identify with?
100%. Like yo, literalmente, the thing is, when I went into this with the other business that I was doing, I kept putting like, okay, in 3 years I'm gonna be here. In 4 years I'm gonna be here. With comedy, I didn't give myself. I said, you know what, like however long it's gonna take, but this is where I want to be. There was no, this is it. This is like when I started getting into it, I started like just seeing all these things and just started feeling a love for it. I said, you know what, like this is for the long haul. And I also I feel like I didn't realize like the value of time. Yo
Hmm.
quería tener este negocio so successful by year number 2, year number 3. But then when I was looking at the majority of people that I met and that I had, met así, que conocí, que eran very successful, they were like 10, 15, 20 years deep into their craft. And I was just trying to I was just trying to do this business 3, 4 years and make some money and then do something that I love. But then I realized that no así. When you're pursuing what you love, then you find opportunities to make money with it because
Oh,
you're not going to give up that one thing that you love. See, I thought I liked making websites. I thought I liked doing that, but I gave it up because I didn't. I wanted to make the money so that I could do something that I wanted to love. And I realized in comedy and doing this, los videitos de comedia y todo, que when I went into it, I never like, yo te digo, I never went into it once thinking about, oh, I can make money with this or I could eventually make money. I literally had a job and I said, if I have to work this job and do this comedy on the side and never be successful with comedy, I will do this for the rest of my life because I just enjoy this so much. Like me trae tanta alegría, and that was it. That was just kind of like that thing for me.
that's awesome.
And I eventually the money came,
Of course,
pero
of course,
but
because
in the big yeah,
yeah, no,
but
of
in the
course,
beginning fue
because
así.
like when you dedicate and you make that decision, it's almost like kind of like just like letting go and just kind of let the universe and let God just put everything in place. As long as you do your part and you show up, everything else is going to show up.
It just starts falling into place. Así
Man,
mismito.
that's incredible, bro, because it's almost like a superpower that people don't know that they have. ¿Me
That
entiende?
that's
¿Me
a good way to
entiende?
put it. See,
It's a superpower that I've been able to use multiple times over and over again in my own life. And it's a superpower that you tapped into that you didn't even know that you had, but you used it, right? So that's amazing. So you made the decision to dive into comedy. I remember you had started a podcast at some point,
yeah.
and you were interviewing some people, but then you started the BabyKel character, and then you started bringing, mommy, papi, tío, abuela, and started bringing all these characters. And it's very funny because I love every single one of your videos because it reminds me of my childhood, right? It reminds me of when I'm growing up in PR, growing up in Puerto Rico. Waking up on a Saturday morning at 8:30 with music blasting y fabuloso all over the house. Sabe que eso es, that's something that from a culture standpoint, bro, that's amazing because like Puerto Rican TikTok is popping. It's like one of the most popular TikTok sides of TikTok, and with a handful of other creators, you dominate that space. So tell me about the characters, bro. Tell me how these characters came into play and what made you think like, damn, I got money here.
So yo te explico esa parte. So en ese primer año that I decided to get into comedy, ¿verdad? I was looking for different ways of how I could do comedy, and I was starting to see that social media comedy and social media was probably going to be one of the fastest ways for me to be able to get my name out and for me to be able to display my talent. So I started doing TikTok videos, but it weren't skits. It was just like haciendo estupideces, whatever. Nothing really hit. I tried to do some stunt videos. I did one video that I was like twerking por todo Orlando.
Oh, dude, I love that. That's one of my favorite videos where you're twerking to Yo Perreo Sola,
Yeah,
and you're all over Orlando with like bottles of adobo. I'll probably put it in post
yeah,
when
no,
I
no,
edit, but oh my God, yes, I love it.
literal. I did that video, and it's funny porque in that moment I made the video and I said, this is it. I'm gonna be viral. After this video, everybody's gonna know me. Like my life is gonna change. I posted the video. Coqui, nada. Pasaron un par de días. Not. I thought Bad Bunny would reshare. I thought all these things were gonna happen, and it didn't happen. And I thought that was the way. I thought that in order for you to make it on social media, you had to have like this one video, and all of a sudden your life changes. That wasn't really the case for me. But anyway, I did that video. I did a couple other videos. La pandemia empezó. A lot of people start getting on TikTok, pero la vuelta no se me estaba dando on TikTok. And then I was going on live. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I like como tú hablas." I had people coming on live. Estábamos hablando. They were like, "Oh, you should start a podcast." Y siempre me gustaba dialogar con las personas. So yo dije,
Yeah.
okay. So I stopped doing little videos. I dedicated about, that was during the summer, como maybe 6 meses, 5 meses en el podcast, entrevistando a personas. Y era como que 100 views, 200 views. And I was just like, I was working like 8 hours for one video to get 100 views. And I was just like, como que, no sé, it's a lot of work. Y estaba solo. And I just wasn't seeing the growth in it. And again, that was me trying to like do something quickly, me not seeing a true passion for it or whatever. And I interviewed un influencer que es comediante. And during that interview, I found it so fascinating what he was doing. And I was asking him questions about what he was doing. Como que, ay, ¿qué cámara tú usas? When you do frames, how do you do it? Because when I started, I didn't know anything about film. Recuérdate, I was a salesperson. Like, I didn't go to college. I graduated
Yeah.
high school and went straight into sales. I don't know anything about video. Yo no sabía nada. And when I started doing videos, something that a lot of people don't know is when I do my outfits, I used to put on an outfit, pero cuántas veces te voy a decir, and then I would change, do the kid outfit, and then change again, and then change again,
Yeah.
and then entrevistando a este señor, él me estaba diciendo que como que, I was like, so how do you do it? He was like, oh, I do todas las tomas from one character, and then and I was like,
Then
and I was
spice
just
them
so,
up.
yeah, and I was so fascinated, and I realized que esa entrevista, it went really well, but it was because I was curious about what he was doing. And then from there, that's when it was around Christmas time. I ended up getting COVID, and I stopped doing the podcast. Yo me enfermé como por 2 semanas. And in that moment, it was Christmas. I was by myself. Mi familia vive en Puerto Rico. I felt very, very, very alone. Estaba en depresión. Y para decirte la verdad, yo me arrodillé, and I started crying. Y le dije como que I just started praying. I said, God, I've tried to do everything my way up to this point. Nothing's worked. Did the podcast. It's just not doing well. Like, at this point, like, just take me where you want to take me. And I was bored at my house. Y como que, just remembering como que mi mamá, mi familia, no los teniendo con ellos aquí, ellos estando en Puerto Rico, como que I think a lot of that just kind of like, just kind of sat with me. And without even realizing it, I just made a video that I remember filming it. I posted it in like a day. The next day, it had like 20 something thousand views, and it fascinated me. When I saw 20,000 views for one video, I was initially hooked, and I became the most curious person on figuring out what makes a video go viral. I literally couldn't sleep. Like, the next day, I stayed up super late, just grabbing all the content that I had done for the last year and figuring out what did good, what didn't do good, watching YouTube videos, obsessing with it. And then I created ese personaje de mi mamá, de esa misma como que extrañando. And then I made a video, and that video ended up going viral. But the first video that I did was el de Como Dios creó las mujeres boricua.
Oh,
That was my first big viral video. And I said, hold on, this worked. Let me see if it'll work. And I grabbed that same formula that I created, and I introduced these characters. And I felt like it came so natural to me, porque out of missing it and just remembering, I did it, and then I just ran with it. Y la gente said the exact same thing that you told me in the beginning. They were like, oh my God, like, I've been living in Massachusetts, or I've been living in Spain, I'm Puerto Rican, for so many years, and this video reminds me of how I grew up in Puerto Rico, or it gives me that feeling. And I was like, oh my God, that's the same feeling that I was looking for, that remembrance de como me crié en Puerto Rico, and having that little piece of my childhood in this video. And that's why I feel like a lot of my videos are more than just comedy. They bring you back a piece of your childhood, and that's part of the
yes.
story that I try to create when I make this video, to be able to, people laugh, yeah, te ríe, but to just kind of give you a little piece of home.
Dude, that's awesome. I think that's why you're so popular in on TikTok, and why people just love you. I saw the video when you went to New York for the Puerto Rican parade, and all the amount of people that just stopped you on the way to the parade
I was
was
wearing this shirt. I
amazing.
was wearing this shirt too.
Yes, yeah, it's amazing, dude. And all I could, when I'm looking at these videos, bro, I get a sense of pride. One, because I know you, bro. You're like, tú eres amigo mío, bro. You're like, I've known you for a while. We don't talk that much, but it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, right?
Claro, claro.
Y lo segundo, brother, you're representing Puerto Ricans all over the globe, bro. When you say that you're getting messages from people from Spain or other parts of the world telling you, bro, this reminds me of when I was growing up in PR, bro. Bro, that gives me chills. That literally gives me chills. So, bro, so that that is amazing, bro. So now you have the transition. Now you're BabyKel. You're producing these videos. You have these characters. You're set. You're done. Now you're doing stuff on TV. Now you're doing stuff for the Puerto Rican Day Parade. You're doing stuff with Bad Bunny. You're doing stuff with Dean Huertas. So you're doing stuff with really well known influencers and artists, bro. Like, did you ever imagine that you would ever have these opportunities presented to you because of this?
Tú sabes, I love that you asked me that question because I was thinking about it a couple days ago. Actually, I said to myself, "Tú sabes que if somebody ever asked me in an interview, did I ever see this? Am I gonna say, oh, como like, mucha gente que dice como que no, like I never saw it coming? The truth is, yes, like yes, yes. I'm not surprised that it's happened because from that first video that went viral, I called up my mom. And when I say viral, it got shared a lot y todo, but nothing happens afterwards. Like I'm not getting a call like, hey, no, it just a lot of people saw it. Um, I called my mom and I'm telling her like, mira, mami, like I'm gonna do this and I want to become the biggest comedian de Puerto Rico. Quiero before I become a big comedian, I want to put Puerto Rico on my back. So I'm gonna have to start making content que los puertorriqueños se pueden identificar, and I'm gonna take Puerto Rico with me
Hmm.
en mi comedia y todas mis aventuras. And I said, I'm gonna be working with the biggest brands de Puerto Rico. And I have to become one of the biggest names de Puerto Rico. And I'm gonna be working with the biggest brands de Puerto Rico. A year later, I ended up working with some of the biggest brands de Puerto Rico. And a lot of things are happening, but the truth is, I I manifested it, yeah. But when they actually happen, it's still kind of like, what the heck? Like,
The funny thing about manifesting, right? Because this is like a whole nother way of thinking, but not a lot of people know about this way of thinking. And I love that you say that, because you pictured it in your mind when I asked you the question. It was like, the fact of the matter is that yes, I knew that this was going to happen, and the fact that you weren't surprised that it happened meant that you already saw that vision a year ahead of time, and that when it came here, you're like, okay, this is cool, it happened, but I'm not surprised.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's still I have to process a lot of it because it's like, yeah, I read my goals every day. Yeah, I was writing these things down. This happened, and it's just like, oh shit, it actually
Yeah.
happened. Como que like I knew I was believing in it, and I was having that faith. Pero cuando pasa, it's still como que like, damn, I can't believe it actually worked. You know what I mean?
Right, right. It's fun. Dude, that's happened to me over and over and over again. And one of the things that makes me realize it is, and we go back to when you got on your knees and you prayed and you just kind of let go and be like, "Mira, I can't do it by myself. I'm just gonna let you do it."
Yeah,
Right. So either God, the universe, whatever you
lo que
believe
tú
in,
creas, lo que tú creas.
you made it. You identified it. You just let go and you just let everything happen. Pero la jodienda es que a lot of people think that it's going to be like boom, it's going to happen right now. It doesn't. It doesn't. It takes a long time. It takes sacrifice. It takes failure, like you mentioned at the
Absolutely.
beginning of the interview. So let's talk about. I want to know a little bit more about you as a person, bro.
Claro,
Like, so
claro.
so for example, so like you knew about these goals, you knew about these things that you wanted to do. Like, take me about your morning routine, bro. Like, what do you do in the mornings? Do you meditate? Do you write your goals down? Like, so for me, being consistent on everything that I do, from writing my affirmations or writing my goals to meditating, I do it consistently every single day. So what are some things that you do to help you with your mindset and to prepare you for your day when you have like a week long of filming, for example?
Claro, so yo cuando me levanto, yo tengo una rutinita. I always drink my ginger tea with lemon. Eso es algo que siempre va. Pero yo siempre escribo, like, today, what I want to accomplish, or just, I don't really, I realize I used to be very structured. Como que, oh, I had to write this every single, no, like, ahora es como que I wake up and I have this journal. And yo escribo como que today I want to be more productive. I want to be able to focus. I'm going to do this. I'm going to accomplish this, this, and that. And then I have next to my mirror, I have my goals, and I read them out loud todos los días. And at the end of the night, I actually write what I was grateful for that day, or just in general. And I just kind of let my mind wander. Como que, oh, today I'm grateful that I have my health, because I didn't have my health just a couple months ago. So that's something that I just always feel so grateful for.
Oh man, it's crazy that you say that, because the reason we were supposed to do this interview last week, the reason I couldn't do the interview last week is I had COVID,
Oh wow.
and that knocked me down for about almost 2 weeks, dude. And the thing, and I know we're getting sidetracked, bro, but I don't know if this happened to you, but when I was going through COVID, I was getting some crazy dreams and nightmares, and my mind was playing tricks on me, and my body was making my mind feel a certain way. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't cry from nowhere. Why am I crying out of nowhere?
Yeah, no, COVID.
It's a weird disease, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I know it hits everybody different. A mí me dio horrible. Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. Pero, yeah, ese es como que más o menos, yo diría que esa es mi rutina. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Eh, yeah, I think just looking at my goals, just knowing what I'm going to do today. And I have this thing, like, I'll even show you here on my phone. Um,
Oh, I love it. I love it. What about books? Do you read or do audiobooks or anything like that to kind of keep you focused? Anything like that you do?
Yeah, yo me paso leyendo libros. A lot of the books that I read, like I'm reading right now, I think it's called The Mastery of Love,
Hmm.
in relationships, because I want to be able to not just dominate en lo que hago, but in different, aspects de mi vida. So I'm not always reading books on business or anything. Sometimes about relationships, even if I'm not in a relationship, just so that I can be a better person siempre todos los días.
I got the perfect book for you, bro. So this is a book by Gary Vee, 12 and a half. 12 and a half ingredients. The 12 and a half ingredients talk about gratitude, self-awareness, accountability, optimism, empathy, kindness, tenacity, curiosity, patience, conviction, humility, ambition, and kind
I
candor.
love it. I
And
love it.
the reason I love this book so much is it's not only just for business, but it's for life and relationship. Because sometimes you have there's a hard conversation that you got to have with a friend or a loved one or an associate, and sometimes it's hard to bring up certain things in a conversation. But dude, that book, dude, amazing book, and it's a quick
Amazing.
read, bro. You'll get through it in 2 days. It's
Ah,
super
pues.
quick.
Lo,
Super.
lo, lo, lo voy a añadir en mi Amazon cart para cogerlo
No,
entonces.
definitely. It's definitely a great book. Man, that's awesome, dude. So now you're doing this, you're doing TikTok, you have your characters, you're sailing, bro. You're riding the wave right now. What do you got what do you got planned? Are we gonna see a BabyKel Netflix special or HBO Max special? Dime lo que está en los planes, bro.
Mira, yo te voy a decir que honestamente, when I first started doing this, and I was just making the videos, I wasn't, you get some videos that get a lot of views. That's always exciting. Some videos don't do as well, but I have so much love for the creation process that literally, Joe, the number one thing that I focus is just making the best video. Y por eso es que en esto que te enseñé, dice, focus on today, make the best videos, enjoy the process. Because one of the things que me di cuenta que pasa es que when you start growing, it's easy to get sidetracked. Como tú dijiste, I got invited to the New York Puerto Rican Day Parade, which is great. I got invited to this, to that, and all those things are great. Pero el problema que yo me di cuenta que these are opportunities that came because of like everything starts with one video. Everything starts with making the best video possible.
Mhm.
So I have a lot of goals, dreams that I want to accomplish, but my main focus is how can I make the next best video possible for this concept idea that I have? How can I make the best that I have to offer? And then from there, doors and opportunities open that match the goals that I have. Like, te voy a dar un ejemplo. One of my goals was to work with a very, very large brand. And a lot of the brands that I've worked with, I didn't reach out to them. By making content, making videos, doing what I know how to do best and focusing on that, this opportunity happened, this other opportunity happened. So I do have a lot of goals and plans que quiero accomplish later on. But right now, my main focus is how can I make the best content? How can I make the next best video? Because at the end of the day, I'll be 100% frank with you. Truly, truly, a mí no me importa how many views a video gets. A mí no me importa if I don't grow one more single follower for the next 10 years and I keep the people that I have and they're happy and they're laughing, like that's it for me. Like esos I have a lot of goals and of course that's not going to happen, but if you tell me that, and I told this to one creator that came up to me and they were like, "Yo, Kel, like estoy struggling, like I'm just not getting the views." And I'm like, "If you can't see yourself doing what you're doing for the next 7 to 10 years and not gaining a single follower, would you still do it? Would you be okay with it? If not, then you kind of have to, and I am like, I'm okay with that. And te lo digo porque I don't look at the views. I look at how my videos do about twice a month. On the 15th and 30th of the month, I sit down, look at all the analytics. But a mí no me importa because if I can make one person laugh, genuinely, te lo digo,
Yeah.
me hace feliz. And you know why I can tell you that? Because, dude, I used to go on live with 2 people for an hour on TikTok. Okay, literalmente for 1 full hour, I'm entertaining, making laugh, todo lo que sea. 2 people online, nada más. Like, that's it. And I would dedicate that 1 full hour to them. O hacía los videos, 100 people, 100 views, 3 comments, and I was happy with that. ¿Tú me
Yeah.
entiendes? So the fact that I get to make more people happy is great, but I don't get caught up on that, and I always just try to always focus on the one thing that's helping me got like que me ha ayudado a llegar aquí, que it's the video. That's the most important thing.
It's interesting that you say that, right? Because like myself, I recently have been kind of through a journey. I've been producing my wrestling show now for many, many years. But when you're a content creator, sometimes depending on the genre that you're working with, te explota, ¿verdad? Like not only from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. And I know you're probably not as plugged into the wrestling side of TikTok or wrestling side of social media, but that side is super toxic. It's like politics, bro. Like you can't say one bad thing about one promotion or one thing about another because then you'll have the entire social media against you. No, it's super toxic, right? So that really affected me. It affected me in a mental state. And I'm like, dude, I was like, what? If you're supposed to be fans, why are you fighting with each other? You're supposed to be enjoying the sport or the entertaining that is professional wrestling, right? So what I did is I cut it off. I still watch it, but I cut it, right? So I'm not like I don't have a relationship where now I'm just enjoying it as a fan again and not as a journalist or as a reporter where it took a certain toll on my mind. So what I did, I flipped the script because I didn't want this type of negative representation in this space, which is why I created this show. I created Wrestling with Mindset so I can interview not only wrestlers but other people that have dealt with mindset problems or success or getting to success. For example, my first interview was W Morrissey. He's an ex WWE guy, and I have that relationship with certain people in the business, but I'm telling a different story. We're not talking about
Claro.
if Vince McMahon got fired. We're not talking about if this person got fired. We're talking
El
about who this
bochinche.
person. Exacto. No estamos hablando del bochinche. Y eso es lo que me mató a mí. That's one of the things that really hurt me is that this hasn't become, we're not reporting news anymore. We're reporting bochinche, and I'm not about that. So I decided, let me tell the positive story of these people. Let's not talk about what they did. Let's talk about how they got there, how they como superaron, their demons, or how they became multimillionaires. So That's why I created this show, and this is why I wanted to interview you, because you're a funny dude, you're entertaining, but behind the character, there's a person, and there's a person
Claro,
that I know, and there's a person that went through struggle, went through failure, and now is enjoying the success and riding that wave of success. So man, I appreciate you for being on the
claro,
show, man. I'm full of gratitude. I hope we get to see each other in person soon.
claro, claro.
One last thing, a message for the viewers, for any content creators, any comedians that are wanting to, make a living doing what they love. What message do you have for them in less than 60 seconds?
In less than in less than 60 seconds, yo creo que go all in and just truly, I know it sounds cliche, pero ten fe and really, really, truly believe in yourself no matter what.
Yeah, I think that's important. Unwavering belief in yourself and just do what you love, bro. And you'll never have to work a day, even if you're broke in your bank. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Kel, for being on the show. I appreciate you.
Claro,
And
claro.
we'll talk soon.
Dale, cuídate. Gracias a todo el mundo. Nos vemos.
All right.
Bye.